Hello students, let us start our session of chapter number 3, motion in a straight line. Basically, what is motion? Motion is a change in a position of an object. While any object is available in a rest condition, by applying a force, that object is moving in a particular direction of applied force. So, after applying the force, the change in the position with respect to time, it is defined as a motion. While this motion is moving in a straight line, it is known as rectilinear motion. Now, while this object is moving, its speed is going to be changed. For example, that object initially is in a rest condition. So its initial velocity, its initial speed is 0. After applying the force, that object is moving in a direction of applied force. Then its speed is non-zero value. Its speed is increases. So here its displacement is available, change in the position with respect to time, we can define as in speed. While this motion is in a particular direction, so magnitude and the direction, that particular direction defines in terms of velocity. So here, now after applying the force, object gets the velocity. So here, now, if that object is moving either with a constant velocity and cover a certain distance, or the change in the velocity can available. For example, a car is moving on a highway. So while it is moving in a particular direction with a specific speed, now after a certain distance, for example, a bump is available. So, that fellow has to provide a brake. As the brake is applied, that velocity of a car gets reduced. So, here, change of the velocity will occur. After passing that bump, now again, that car moving onto the road with a higher speed. So again in that case we can say that change in the velocity will occur with respect to time. So here, while this change in the velocity occur with respect to time, as the object is in a motion, we can define acceleration. Initially, while that change in velocity occurs, we can define this velocity with respect to the distance, or again we can define the change in the velocity with respect to time. But here the rate of the change of velocity with time is constant for free fall. What is free fall? For example, any object from certain height we are dropping, that free fall occurs. Now that object is moving from certain height towards the ground. So that is a free fall. That free fall is constant with respect to time. And that's why the change in velocity with distance is not constant for free fall, but change in velocity with respect to time remains constant. So here, the concept of acceleration generated as a rate of change of velocity with respect to time. Now, if we want to calculate and want to get its average acceleration, then average acceleration over a time interval can be defined as a change of velocity divided by the time interval. That is a delta v by delta t. Delta v, that is velocity difference v2 minus v1 and difference of time, that is a time difference t2 minus t1. So v is defined as the instantaneous velocity v2 and v1. With respect to that, at that particular moment, the time is available, that is a t2 and t1. So here it is available as average change of velocity per unit time. The SI unit of acceleration is meter per second square. Now, let us plot a velocity time graph as you can see in the figure. So here, the average acceleration is the slope of straight line connecting the points to V2 T2 and V1 T1. So here the average acceleration of velocity time graph is shown in figure for different time intervals. If we calculate 0 to 10, 10 to 18 and 18 to 20. In these three parts, the whole graph is divided and we are going to determine average acceleration within that time interval. So in this graph, let us take 0 to 10 second. So one point we are taking 0 second and another point we are taking 10 second onto the x-axis. With respect to the time duration, what would be the velocity available? Let's align that point onto the y-axis so we able to get velocity at that time instant. At 0 second, as you can see from the graph, velocity is available 0 meter per second. And at 10 second, the velocity is available, that is a 24 meter per second. So here time is T2 is 10 second, T1 is 0 second. With respect to that, V2 is 24 meter per second and V1 is 0 meter per second. So as we have the average acceleration equation, A bar equals to V2 minus V1 divided by T2 minus T1. Place these values in that given equation. So it would be 24 minus 0 meter per second divided by 10 minus 0 second. So average acceleration is 2.4 meter per second square. Likewise, let us calculate average acceleration for the interval 10 second to 80 second. Let us take instant of time T1 10 second. At the time V1 is 24 meter per second. Another time, let us take 18 second. At that time, from the graph again we can say that V2 is 24 meter per second. As in the graph we can say that from 10 second to 18 second, the straight line is observed, so same velocity is available. Let us place these values in the average acceleration equation. So it would be V2 minus V1, that is 24 minus 24 divided by T2 minus T1, that is 18 minus 10 second. So it would be 0 meter per second square. Now let us take the final interval 18 second to 20 second. Let us take T1 18 second. At that time, velocity is 24 meter per second and T2 is 20 second. At that time, velocity is 0 meter per second. That values we can observe from the graph. Let us place these values in the average acceleration equation. V2 minus V1, that is 0 minus 24 meter per second divided by T2 minus T1, that is 20 minus 18 second. So the result would be minus 12 meter per second square. So this is how over here we able to get average acceleration. Likewise, we also can get instantaneous acceleration by putting its limit. So instantaneous acceleration we able to get as time t tends to 0, delta v minus delta t, that is dv minus dt. So by differentiating the velocity with respect to time, we able to get acceleration. So acceleration at any instant is a slope of the tangent of the vt curve at that time instant. So from the vt curve, as we can observe in earlier slide, from that results, let us obtain the acceleration with respect to time. So let us draw AT curve. That AT curve is, you can see in the diagram, as from 0 to 10 second, we able to get 2.4 meter per second square acceleration. So here we can define that the acceleration is non-uniform over the interval of 0 to 10 second. That acceleration is rising from 0 to 10 continuously. Now, between 10 to 18 second, we have derived the average acceleration, that would be 0 meter per second square. From that we can say that over here, from 10 second to 18 second, the constant value 0 meter per second square acceleration will observe. Now, from 18 second to 20 second, the average acceleration we have derived, that is a minus 12 meter per second square. So here from that we can define that between 18 to 20 second, minus 12 meter per second square acceleration is there. So when the acceleration is uniform, it equals the average acceleration over that time period. But if acceleration is non-uniform, then it can be a rising slope or a decreasing slope. Right? Now, here the velocity is a quantity having both magnitude and direction. So a change in velocity can be available by changing either magnitude or direction or both the values. So by changing that velocity with respect to magnitude or direction or both the values, we able to receive the acceleration. As we know, change in the velocity with respect to time will give you the acceleration. And velocity having magnitude and direction. So either magnitude is changing with respect to time of the velocity, or direction is changing with respect to time of velocity. So acceleration will be generated. So like the velocity, acceleration also can be available positive, negative or zero. As you can see in the graph, three graphical representation will be there. First graph define that with respect to position time graph, acceleration is defined. Here this acceleration in which the curve is a rising curve, so we can say that acceleration is positive. In second graph, in the position time graph, that graph is available with the reducing value, so we can say that it is available for negative acceleration. And in the third graph, the straight line observed, it shows that acceleration would be 0. So the average acceleration equals the constant value of acceleration during the interval. So if the velocity of an object v0, for example, v0 defined as its initial velocity. So if at a time t equal to 0, initial velocity is available with the v0 value, and at a time t, the velocity is available as a v. So average acceleration is v2 minus v1 divided by t2 minus t1, that is a v minus v0 divided by t minus 0. From this equation, let us make the subject of formula v, so that is equal to v0 plus at. Now let us define a velocity time graph. Here 4 different graphical representation is available. In first graph of the velocity time graph, an object is moving in a positive direction with positive acceleration, as we can define a rising straight line. In second graph, in graph B, object is having an initial velocity v0 and this velocity is reducing with respect to time. So here we can say that object is moving in positive direction with negative acceleration. Because here first and second both graph is available in the first quadrant, so both is having a positive direction. But in first graph, the velocity, initial velocity is v0 and velocity is increasing. As the velocity is increasing, acceleration is available positive. In second graph, this graph is plotted in first quadrant. So positive direction is there. Initial velocity is v0 and then velocity is reducing. So position direction is positive, but as the velocity is reducing, we able to get a negative acceleration. Now in third graph, as we can see, it is plotted in fourth quadrant. So in this case we can say that direction is negative, initial acceleration is minus v0. From that again velocity is gets reduced, so here we able to get negative direction of an object with negative acceleration. Now in graph D, it is started from first quadrant and it is moving towards the fourth quadrant. So initial velocity is v0, so object is moving in a positive direction till the time t1 and then it turns back with the negative direction. So here we are getting a negative acceleration up to time t1, the direction is positive, and after t1 the direction gets negative, so it is turning back, we can say that, with negative acceleration. Right? Clear? Now from this velocity time graph of an moving object, if we are calculating area under the curve, then we able to determine the displacement of an object over the time interval. So in this velocity time curve, if it would be a straight line, as you can see in the diagram, parallel to the time axis, an area under this curve between time t equal to 0 to time t equal to capital T, we able to get the rectangular shape. This rectangular shape having the height u within that time duration t. So area under this curve, that is L cross B, that is T cross U. So here area we are able to get U into T, which able to get the displacement within that time interval. So how area gets a displacement? As here onto the y-axis velocity is there having the unit meter per second, and onto the x-axis we are having the unit time t. So that is a u meter per second into t second. So meter per unit if we discuss, then meter per second into second. Second will be cancelled out, so we able to get the unit, that is a meter. So by taking its area, we able to get the value by the unit meter, and meter is the unit of displacement. So from that we can say that while we are calculating area under the curve of velocity time graph, we able to get displacement of the object within that time interval. So here acceleration and velocity cannot change values abruptly at any instant value, but change is always defined continuously. Right? So here we are going to end this session. Hope you understood. Thank you.